3:47 a.m. A father wakes up in a hospital bed. His surgery is scheduled for today. A tumor, stage 2 pancreatic cancer, survivable if they operate now. His phone lights up, not a call from his doctor, not a nurse checking in, a notification. Claim 4729384 denied. Reason code 527. Medical necessity not established. He's been paying premiums for 9 years, $340 a month. Never missed a payment, never filed a claim until now. He doesn't know what the code means. He doesn't know who made the decision. He just knows his surgery isn't happening today, and he has no idea how long today will last. If he doesn't get approval in 72 hours, the tumor becomes inoperable. Somewhere in a server farm in Ohio, an algorithm made that decision. No human reviewed it, no executive signed off. Just code, running quietly. The algorithm saw a word, a single word in his chart, and that word erased his treatment. The decision was already made before he woke up. Automatic rejection. He will appeal. Most people in his situation don't. The algorithm knows this. It's counting on it. This is not a story about corporate greed. This is an autopsy of a machine designed to outlast human endurance. Welcome to Power Autopsy. Insurance is supposed to be simple. You pay premiums, they cover your risk. When a disaster strikes, the contract activates. Risk pooling. Everyone pays a little. The few who need help the most get a lot. It's supposed to be mutual, but somewhere between promise and payout, the question changed from does this person need help to how do we minimize what we pay? That shift was engineered. What you're about to see are case fragments, anonymized testimonies from medical professionals, patients, and pharmacists. Each one alone looks like bad luck, but when you line them together, a pattern appears. These aren't isolated incidents, they're system behaviors. The pattern repeats across 3 layers: complexity, delay, exhaustion. By the end, you will see the 3-step design and why it doesn't need to be accurate to be profitable. Case Fragment A. A patient suffers from chronic migraines, debilitating pain, nausea, seizures, neurological symptoms that make daily life nearly impossible. Their doctor prescribes a medication, Nutec. It's FDA approved for migraines. Clinical guidelines support it. The patient's history supports it. But the claim is denied. Reason: contraindicated for patients with seizures and aneurysm risk. The patient doesn't have an aneurysm. The seizures aren't epileptic. They're migraine related. Triptans, the alternative the insurer will cover, are actually contraindicated for this patient. The denial makes no medical sense. The physician submits an appeal. Documentation, current clinical guidelines, peer review evidence, denied again. The physician assistant tries. Denied again. The patient gets no relief. The insurer only covers the drug that's medically inappropriate. This isn't a mistake. This is complexity as friction. The denial isn't designed to be correct. It's designed to be difficult to challenge. Medical justifications sound authoritative, even when they're wrong. Most patients don't have the expertise to argue. Most doctors don't have the time to fight. The appeal process isn't there to fix errors. It's there to filter out people who give up. Complexity is a tool, not a bug, a feature. Case Fragment B. Survivor Arc Maria. A diabetic patient has been stable for years. Same insulin dosage, 30 units daily. No complications, no change in condition. Then the pharmacy calls. Insurance has reduced coverage, 20 units now, not 30. The patient calls the insurer. We reviewed the treatment plan. 20 units is sufficient. The patient hasn't been reviewed. Their doctor hasn't been contacted. The dosage change came from the insurer's internal review, not medical, administrative. She has 3 days of insulin left. The physician submits an appeal. The insurer reverses the decision. Coverage restored to 30 units. No medical condition changed. No new information was provided. The original dosage was always correct. The reduction was always arbitrary. Maria got her insulin, but only because she knew how to fight. This is delay as attrition. The insurer didn't need a medical reason to cut coverage. They just needed the patient to notice late, to call, to wait on hold, to escalate, to involve their doctor, to submit paperwork, to wait for review. The reversal proves there was never a medical justification. Look at what happened. They reversed it. That means the denial was never medical. It was behavioral. But the delay bought time. Time. The patient went without proper medication. Time the insurer didn't pay. And if the patient had appealed, the reduction would stood. Not because it was right, because it went unchallenged. Delay isn't competence, it's strategy. Case Fragment C. A patient is diagnosed with a congenital enzyme deficiency, CSID, congenital sucrose isomaltase deficiency. Without enzyme replacement, eating causes severe symptoms, bloating, nausea, digestive failure. The only treatment, enzyme supplementation with every meal. The prescription, 2 millimeters per meat, up to 6 times daily, 12 millimeters per day, roughly 360 millimeters per month. Insurance approves the claim, 27 millimeters per month. That's enough for 5 days, not 30. 5. The patient appeals. The doctor appeals. The approval stands, 27 millimeters. The insurer technically covered the medication, just not enough to survive on. This is exhaustion as inevitability. The approval isn't designed to help. It's designed to create the appearance of compliance. The insurer can say, "We've approved the claim." Technically true, functionally useless. The patient is left with 2 options. Pay out of pocket for the remaining 333 millimeters, or ration the enzyme and suffer the consequences. The insurer doesn't have to deny the claim outright. They just have to approve an amount that guarantees failure. The patient exhausts their appeals, their energy, their hope, and eventually many stop fighting, not because they don't need the medication, because the system is built to outlast them. The patient begins immediately, but the imaging shows something changed. The tumor metastasized. Stage 2 became stage 6. What was treatable became terminal. The delay didn't deny the claim, it just made the approval irrelevant. This is the point of no return. Not every delay ends in paperwork frustration. Some end in biology. Cancers don't wait for prior authorization. Infections don't pause for appeals. Chronic conditions don't honor business days. The system measures success in approval and in denials. Medicine measures it in outcomes. And when those timelines misalign, people don't just suffer. They lose the window. The treatment gets approved too late to matter. The insurer can report claim approved, technically accurate, medically meaningless. That's not a tragic accident. That's foreseeable harm baked into processing time. The cost isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in stages, in prognosis, in time that can't be recovered. These aren't outliers. In a 2023 physician survey, 9 out of 10 doctors reported that prior authorization delays or denies necessary care. When patients do appeal denials, the majority are overturned, meaning they were never medically justified. But here's the key pattern. Most denied patients never appeal. They switch medications. They pay out of pocket. They go without. The system doesn't need to be right. It just needs to be exhausting enough that most people stop fighting. And it works. Because for every patient who appeals and wins, there are many more who never appealed at all. That's not a failure rate. That's a profit margin. But here's what most people don't know. Many of these denials aren't even processed by the insurance company you're paying. The company you thought you were paying isn't the company making the decision. Your premiums fund the systems. Your denial funds the contractor. They're outsourced. Third-party review companies hired to elevate claims. And here's how they're compensated. Per denial processed, not per patient helped. Not per accurate decision, per denial. The more claims that they reject, the more they earn. These companies operate in the background. Names you've never heard. Reviewing your doctor's treatment plan. Applying their own protocols. Overruling medical judgment with corporate guidelines. Your insurer outsources the denial. So when you call to appeal, you're not even arguing with the company you've been paying. You're arguing with a subcontractor optimizing throughput. This isn't insurance anymore. It's arbitrage. The insurer collects your premium. The subcontractor denies your claim. Both profit. You lose twice. And the entire apparatus is designed so you never see the second transaction. You think you're fighting your insurance company. You're actually fighting an industrial denial pipeline. That's not a broken system. That's a supply chain optimized for profit extraction, not patient care. Here's what makes this different from corruption. Corruption requires intent to break rules. This system doesn't break rules, it writes them. Insurance companies are publicly traded. Their fiduciary duty is to shareholders, not patients. Maximizing profit isn't a scandal, it's a requirement. And the easiest way to maximize profit in insurance is to minimize payouts. You can't just deny every claim, that's illegal. But you can create friction, complexity that discourages filling, delays that create gaps in care, exhaustion that leads to abandonment. None of it is illegal. All of it is profitable. The incentive isn't to help people, it's to help just enough people to stay compliant whilst denying just enough claims to stay profitable. And when the system rewards denial, denial becomes rational. You don't need evil executives, you just need aligned incentives, and the architecture does the rest. So what happens when systems replace people? When algorithms make medical decisions faster than doctors can appeal them? When prior authorization takes longer than the treatment window? When the cost of fighting a denial exceeds the cost of paying out of pocket? People stop trusting the safety net. They ration medication. They delay care. They die from preventable conditions because their paperwork outlasted them. This isn't theoretical, it's documented. Treatable cancers that progress during the prior authorization delays. Diabetics rationing insulin because their coverage was arbitrarily reduced. Patients abandoned by a system that proposed protection. The horror isn't that insurance companies are evil. The horror is that they don't have to be. The structure does work for them. Cause of death, incentive misalignment. Insurance promised to distribute risk, instead in concentrated profit. The system didn't fail, it succeeded, exactly as designed. Complexity filtered out claims, delay reduced costs, exhaustion ensured compliance, and the people who couldn't fight back paid the price, not with money, with health, with time, with life. The father in the hospital bed appealed. He learned a new language, denial codes, review boards, processing time. He became fluent in survival paperwork. His surgery was approved. 48 hours later, inside the window. Today, he works as a claim appeals consultant. He teaches patients the architecture, the exact language that triggers approvals, the pressure points that force reversals. Maria, the diabetic from earlier, she's one of his clients now. He wins 80% of the cases, not because he's lucky, because once you learn the architecture, it can't scare you anymore. Somewhere right now, a treatment is being delayed. A dosage is being reduced. A window is closing. This is what modern power looks like. Not villains in boardrooms, just incentives running their course. The system didn't malfunction. It performed exactly as instructed. And it will do it again tomorrow at 3:47 a.m. Another screen will light up. Another code will appear. If money, power, and failure leave a trail, we follow it. If systems can be learned, they can be beaten. This is Power Autopsy. Next case open soon.